Welcome once again to the MrBoxingguru podcast. Again, guys, thank you so much for listening. You know what? It's been a couple of weeks. Actually, it's been 3 weeks since we haven't done a podcast. I wanted to wait to see if a couple of stories, came to fruition. They haven't. I wanted to see if Canelo had an opponent. We had something to talk about, something to discuss. That hasn't happened. I wanted the Boo Boo fight to go away because, Jesus Christ, it was Boo Boo. That's over with. I wanted the Tyson Fury top-ranked diet to go away. That's over and with. I wanted the non-rise and fall of the great Andy Vance as a prospect of the year, the guy that carried a fictitious belt around his shoulder because he thought he was the pride of San Jose. I wanted that to go away. That's done with. So what's next? What's going on in boxing? Andy Ruiz is still a story. Somewhere in Arizona, Ray Beltran is getting picked up by ICE, hopefully, because he didn't do anything this weekend. Who is actually going to fight Canelo? Is it that two-headed middleweight monster, the Charlo brothers? The Lions only. Is that what it is? I don't know, but let's talk about it, man. We got a lot to talk about. So again, let's go right to it. Again, Canelo still hasn't had any opponent. I heard something online where he might have a knee injury or something. I don't believe it. I just want to wait to see what happens. Hopefully, we get to see an opponent. We get to see a formidable opponent for Canelo, and we get news. As a matter of fact, hopefully we get news tomorrow of it. So, let's talk about the heavyweight division for a bit because it's obviously very interesting. Andy Ruiz. It's still a hot commodity. I think he was just in Puerto Rico. He was talking. He wanted to pick up one of his belts. It looks like he's getting everything lined up. Look, man, that has to be one of the best stories in a very long time. Guys like Andy Ruiz don't get these opportunities, and when they do, it makes you root for yourself even more. I love everything that's going on with him, and I love that the fact that most of these fights you can't really determine a winner. Look, again, the Andy Ruiz story has been told over and over, including by myself, and it's just, again, I can't believe it. I didn't pick him to win, but I'm not gonna be the bitter guy and say, you know what, I didn't pick him, fuck this, blah blah. No, man, you gotta be happy, man. The fact that most people that consider themselves expert, not myself, because I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but most of these folks that consider themselves expert and they didn't pick Andy Ruiz, that's got to be good. That means boxing, it's still as unpredictable as it used to be. Look, man, the last couple of decades, boxing has been so predictable. You could see the winner a mile away. Not anymore, man. That's just freaking awesome. And it goes anywhere from prospects getting overmatched when it doesn't look like they're being overmatched on paper. I just saw Omar Chavez, talking about this and that because he was supposed to go fight in Europe. One of the guys that Canelo fought, and that went to shit. Even if they gave him, it was on paper a very easy fight, and he couldn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe because Memo Heredia wasn't working with him. Whatever it was, again, I don't want to accuse the kid of the steroids, but if there's someone that actually needs some performance enhancement drugs are Omar Chavez and maybe even Junior, because their last performances have been absolutely pathetic. The Boo Boo fight. Look, there was 2 fights this weekend. So let's transition to that. There was 2 fights this weekend. One of them was on the zone. Most of us did not catch that live, even if we were staring at the ceiling at our homes. We knew that was a bad fight to begin with. You could say Eddie Hearn could say what he wants about him putting asses in seats. I'm sure they had to beg people or maybe even pay people to attend that fight. It's not a fight that I'm interested in, regardless of who he fights. Boo Boo Andrade is not good for. Look, here's why I'm so big on belts not fucking mattering. A guy like Boo Boo has a fight, and no one's really interested in fighting for him. I get it. You got to fight for legacy, but at the same time, you can't let entertainment get away of quote unquote legacy. Do you really? First, let me answer this. Can Canelo or Golovkin beat Boo Boo Andrade? Absolutely. what does it do to their career? Yeah, they grab another belt, but what does it do in the long run? Does it take the taste out of your mouth on wanting to see that fight? To me it does. I don't want to see Canelo fight him, especially not Canelo. Maybe Golovkin, because I think Golovkin has just a slight better legs than Canelo when it comes to cutting off the ring and whatnot. But to want to see Canelo fight a guy like Boo Boo, chase him around the ring all night long, and at the end for Boo Boo to claim that he got robbed because he was a better boxer. No, man, come on. I need some entertainment value to my money. I don't want to go to Vegas to see Boo Boo. I'm telling you right now. Well, I probably wasn't even going to go anyways, but I do not. I really hope that people do not get taken advantage of their money by going to see a guy like Boo Boo. A guy like Boo Boo could go fight somebody else. I don't care. I mean, the unification, I don't care anymore. It's just a guy like Boo Boo is just dreadful to watch. I don't want to waste any money for all those hardcore purists, as you guys call them. You guys watch this boring shit. I had a guy go out of my throat over him paying $100 in the zone, a year, because he wants to see guys like Boo Boo. So I mean, if you like shit, I mean Boo Boo, I mean you like Boo Boo, man, you enjoy it. But I'm not gonna sit here and watch this type of shit. So that fight's over with. The heavyweight division, Tyson Fury and Top Rank in their fucking circus. Look, man, I get trying to overhype a guy and sell him to the U.S. market. The U.S. market, in my opinion, is not buying that shit. I get it. This guy has, I don't know why he has a torso of like a 2-year-old with the legs of a fucking flamingo. All of a sudden, everybody likes the way he boxes. We got to keep the same energy when it comes to fighters like this. Did we have the same energy when Floyd Mayweather was fighting? Look, I wasn't a fan of Floyd. I detested his style, especially when he became Money May. At least when he was Pretty Boy, he would go out there and at least try to beat your ass. Of course, when he started going up in weight, now that we look back at it, he had hand issues. He was fighting bigger guys, so he had to use his boxing ability to get these guys off of him. But the fact of the matter is that we criticize Floyd for being boring. So why isn't that same energy being redirected towards a guy like Tyson Fury, that a guy that, yeah, he talks a lot of shit, but most of the time he just moves around the ring? I mean, what value is it to me as a fan to watch something like that? I personally, again, I'm keeping the same energy that I have with Floyd, and when I would say, you know what, honestly, fuck Floyd, I don't want to watch this. Same energy I'm keeping for Tyson Fury for dancing around the ring, and especially when you got guys like Joshua, like Wilder, like Ortiz, like Andy Ruiz, and even Ortiz, that are actually willing to fight each other for that heavyweight crown. While you got one guy, milking the living shit out of a lineal champion, or the Ring Magazine belt. I don't know why that thing hasn't been stripped from him to begin with. I mean, he was in a 2-3 year coke binge, and all of a sudden we want to continue to keep him as a legitimate champion. No, that's not what it is. And I get it. He arguably won the fight versus Wilder. In a way, that's the best thing that could have happened to both of them. Wilder, in my opinion, had lost that fight. Tyson Fury had won that fight. But the fact of the matter that it was a draw, they lived to fight another day. They continue to be entertaining. To a certain extent to some folks, but to me personally, I don't see the hype in a guy like Tyson Fury. We need to be correct about it. We need to be fair across the board, not just because one fighter is from one ethnicity or the other fighter's from another means we appreciate what they do. No, if you're a boring fighter, you're a boring fighter, regardless if you're black or white or whatever the color might be. But let's on that same undercard with Tyson Fury, there was a kid from San Jose that I kind of wanted to bring on about, because we have I personally have a group chat with a couple of guys from True Boxing Heads and whatnot, but there's this guy, and I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to bring anybody's name into this, but he's a big fan of this kid named Mandy Ventus. The kid loved him to death. I'm not sure necessarily why. I questioned him many times, but for one reason or another, he was a true fan. I respect that he's a true fan, but you're still gonna get trolled when you're working on a group chat. Um, this kid was Andy Vance. He talked a good game. He talked like Floyd would talk back in the days. But again, the difference was Floyd actually won a fight. This guy was getting fed a mediocre fighter, after mediocre fighter, and what he delivered was a mediocre performance after mediocre performance. This kid fought a general by the name of something Bell. Again, not a big puncher. They think about 5 fights, and then mainly, if you really look at the fighters that he fought and got those 5 knockouts, they look pretty basic kids. The fact of the matter is that this kid, Andy Vance, talked the most shit in the world and didn't deliver. He promised this, he promised that, he promised a knockout, he gave us nothing. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place to shine. This was Andy Vance's time to back his shit up. You're in a great position because you're with a great promoter in Top Rank. Top Rank, and like I always tell people, Top Rank has been able to make superstars. They might not make you this ridiculous amount of money like PBC has, and I can't take that away from PBC because they're obviously making their fighters a lot of money. But what Top Rank could do, Top Rank can make you a legend. Top Rank can make you a good name at least for yourself, even if your skills aren't that great. And you have that opportunity to do good, but you're a kid that sits back and badmouths the company, badmouths everybody that shows any type of constructive criticism, and you act like you're the biggest fucking shit that has been produced in California, and you end up flunking out to a kid with 5 knockouts. You end up flunking out versus a kid that supposedly didn't belong in the ring with you because you needed all these belts. You started disrespecting all these champions out to do what? Nothing. Bore us to death. And again, there's nothing wrong with losing. On the contrary, I think a fighter that loses is a fighter that dared to be great, that went and tried to fight a fighter that maybe a fight that was impossible, but somehow he tried his ass off. He believed in himself that much that he overcame, or at least tried to overcome that. Andy Vance didn't overcome shit. He didn't adapt. He couldn't adapt. He won't adapt. He thinks his way is right. And he ended up, one, losing his O. Two, losing everybody's respect. I don't want to see that kid ever fight again. As a matter of fact, any show that he's on, I'm boycotting. But he lost, in my opinion, my respect for fighting the way he fights. If he wants to fight for himself and not the fans, then fuck it, go fight in somebody's backyard. Not on my fucking TV. But that's it with that. I just kind of wanted to let that out. As far as Andy Ruiz, look, man, the story keeps getting crazier and crazier, man. Like, you see, I can't go on any type of social media without seeing Andy Ruiz there. I think he was just in Puerto Rico today, picking up one of his other belts. Beautiful belts, by the way. And it's just the stories that are around him. I mean, you see his hometown made him a parade. You hear the story about the first thing he did was buy a car for his mom. I thought that was super special. Like Andy Ruiz, I think was living comfortably before this big win, but it's obviously that check had a lot more zeros than it did before, at least when he was with Top Rank. And now that he made that transition with PBC and he was able to get semi-adopted by the Zone and Eddie Hearn, with that big fight versus Anthony Joshua. Now he's going to have the rematch again. I think the information should be out by the end of the week. And good for him. And again, these are the type of kids, again, regardless if you win or lose, if they try and give it their all, that's the kid you want to root for. And you can't help but to root for a guy like Andy Ruiz, even if I didn't pick him. But switching gears a bit, let's talk a bit about Ray Beltran. Look, man, Ray Beltran, and again, going back to Beltran and his promoter, Bob Arum loves a good story, loves spinning a good story, loves milking a good story. Ray Beltran was supposedly to get his green card, and to get his green card, he had to be some sort of special athlete, and that special athlete was being a champion. The fact of the matter is that Beltran's been popped for illegal substances. He has repeatedly missed weight when it comes to fights, and honestly, most of his career was a very lackluster career, with the exception of a couple of fights where he looked tremendous. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if it was just good matchmaking or again, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that the story's over with. I think sometimes there's a good story, or people actually take advantage of the culture. It's almost a disrespect to it. The whole green card shit, that's been over with and done with, and it keeps on getting milked. Now the kid lost. The kid lost twice. So now what do? Do you deport the guy and then get over the story, or do you actually give him a green card? I don't know. But the story's been milked. It's been told millions of times. Personally, I'm sick and tired of it. Rather work on my mom's green card than his green card. So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. This week, again, not only did Boo Boo grace us with his appearance, but so did one of the Charlo Bros, the two-headed middleweight monster. Actually, I think one of them was at 54. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think both of them might be at 160 now. And of course, the name that pops into their head is always Canelo, especially after they somehow win a fight. And that's a good thing. That's a good energy, because I've said it many times. Canelo's a Heyman fighter killer. If you guys remember correctly, Chavez Jr. was a Heyman fighter. Khan was a Heyman fighter. Daniel Jacobs is still associated with Heyman. So why not play across the street? I mean, the PBC guys are always adamant about saying that Crawford is in the wrong side of the street. I mean, we could do the same with Charlo, but no, I don't think it's fair. I think Charlo is probably the most deserving fighter right now to fight Canelo. Fight a guy like Canelo, get that lottery ticket against a guy like Canelo, and why not? Again, Canelo's been able to do all these fights with PBC fighters on the low without actually having PBC involved. He's done like 2-3 of them with 2 of them with Hearn fighters. So I think having him around, and it's not a bad idea having a promotion, or bringing him onto DAZN at this point, and having him have a good card on DAZN. Why not? Especially with him being the legitimate champion. I don't know about you folks, but Charlo actually being the legitimate champion nowadays, it kind of surprises me. And I don't know if people are really picking up on it, but all this shit really means is that Canelo got stripped for his belt that he legitimately won versus Golovkin. Because yes, the second fight was a legitimate win versus Golovkin. We cannot take that away from him. But now, I asked President of the WBC, I know we're not friends or anything like that. For some reason, he follows me. I don't know why. But the fact of the matter is that I wanted to know what is a franchise belt? Why is Charlo the full-time champion now, but Canelo's a franchise belt? I mean, when I think franchise, I think about a Jiffy Lube. I think about McDonald's, people owning their own McDonald's or Wingstop, some fast food, or maybe because I'm fat, I don't know. But that's what I think about franchise. Or you're part of that company, or you may be being broken off at the side by the company. What is a franchise champion, and why isn't Canelo being insulted by actually him getting that belt taken away from him by Suleiman and friends? And I don't understand that. So if that's the case, I don't know if the case was to somehow entice Canelo to fight a Charlo. If if that's it, so be it. Go after Charlo. Why not? I think it's, in my opinion, it's the most attractive fight that's out there for Canelo. Because let's think about the others. Canelo versus GGG3. Is it a good fight? Absolutely, it's a great fight. Is it a fight that I want to see immediately? No. Why? Because I didn't think Golovkin. I think Golovkin needs a couple of more rounds. I think he needs some more wins in under his belt. He needs to bring something to the table. Unfortunately, that something to the table is a belt. Where is he going to find that belt? When Canelo has all the belts, with Boo Boo Andre. That's a belt he could grab. Again, it's. I'm not asking him to win pretty. I'm asking him to win a legitimate a fight versus a formidable opponent. Rose was not a formidable opponent by any stretch of the imagination. Not to get a Canelo fight. If he wants to do the Canelo fight, he has to do something sort of like what Canelo did to put himself back in the map. Canelo went and fought a Fielding. Yes, at 168. Yes, he was considered champion. Great. Maybe he was considered championish, but not a legit champion. But that was his give me fight. That was his give me fight. Then he went and fought Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs is a guy that arguably beat Triple G when they actually fought. So that's a legitimate win. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. Was it did he deserve accolades for it? Yes. What does Golovkin have to do? He got his gaming fight versus Rose. Great. That was equivalent to a Fields fight. He has to fight a legitimate fighter now. Again, he doesn't have to look pretty, but he does have to add some hard work to his game, just like Canelo did. It's only fair for both of them. If they're going to make a mega fight, they should make a mega event. They should have major hardware, and in this case, it's belts. So can they do that? I really hope they can. I really hope Boo Boo GGG happens. I know it's not easy on the eyes, but it's Boo Boo has something that unfortunately it's good for certain fighters, and that's a belt. Guys like Boo Boo need these belts. That's the only way you attract the popular fighter, and good for Boo Boo in this case, but shit is going to be hard to watch. So that's GGG Canelo. GGG Kovalev, that's an absolute fucking nonsense. I think Kovalev has a fight coming up a yard. That has to happen. That's not a guaranteed fight that Kovalev could win. Now, I get it because they think I'm thinking at least Canelo and his team thinking, okay, we go after Kovalev's body. We get inside. We already fought a guy like Fielding that's tall. That presented zero problems for us. We could get in there and kill his body. But the fact of the matter is that a guy like Kovalev could easily, in my opinion, at least outbox a guy like Canelo. Catch him coming in. He has a very strong, powerful jab, and he showed it out, especially in his last fight, showing you that he's still in the game. So I think that fight's all wrong for him. I think it's a ridiculous fight. I think it's just as bad as Mikey Garcia trying to go up and fighting a monster in that division. I think Kovalev, in my opinion, is still a monster at 175, so I really think Canelo shouldn't touch him at all. They have the other kid that I'm sorry, but I'm going black, but it's a 168 pounder. Is one of the champs that Eddie Hearn has. Again, I think the kid's like 6'7". That's an absolute mistake. Again, there's weight class for a reason. Canelo, in my opinion, it's a small, very, very, very small welterweight. If we go back 10 years, there wasn't. I'm sorry, I said welterweight. I'm sorry. There wasn't any strong. There wasn't any middleweights that small or of Canelo's stature. I mean, Canelo's a very compressed, tight, muscular guy. Again, you don't see that really in boxing. Canelo has more of a frame of a middleweight. If that, I mean, there's most of the middleweights are actually bigger than him. So again, who does Canelo fight? What is a good fight for Canelo other than again the GGGs that we already seen, other than the Boo Boos that are again that's just a horrible fight. There's no reason for that. That's more of a reason for GGG to do it. The Kovalev fight is out of the way. It's a horrible fight. The only thing or meaningful fight is that Charlo that just fought this week. You see, I can't even identify him, which was which. But the Charlo that fight this week, the one with the big bright teeth, the line, that's a fight for Canelo to fight. Also, for you to get rid of his WBC belt. I know that get rid of his franchise McDonald's belt because I know I don't know. If I'm Canelo, I couldn't stand that shit. So, but yeah, that's it. As far as this weekend, I think we don't have fights. Any other stories that are out there, guys, please bring them to my attention. Remember, I'm always happy to talk about them. Again, this is going to be nice and short. I want to continue to do these. I think now is the time where I need to start bringing in guests. They don't particularly have to be fighters, but everybody has to have a good story because I am going to start interviewing folks. So any suggestions, guys, I really appreciate them. Continue to support the podcast. Remember, all you have to do is comment, like on YouTube. Remember, I'm on YouTube. I'm on MrBoxingguru. on Spreaker. I'm on iTunes at Mr. Boxing Guru podcast as well. Where else? I think I'm on iHeartRadio now. So I'm in a bunch of places. So make sure you guys listen, like, review. Again, thank you guys so much. It's been 3 weeks. I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you don't, pues, I'm sorry, me perdonan, pero vámonos recio. Thank you again. This has been the Mr. Boxing Guru podcast.
Si quieren pueden matarme, que yo ya vengué a mis viejos. Dicen que lo fusilaron, otros que se fue muy lejos.